Class-30-11-2022-FF and that is the law on economics. Karibu sana, welcome to my class. And here we are dealing the law and criminal law. Now anyone can unmute and read what I posted on the screen. Anyone can unmute and read what I posted on the screen.
Criminal law, Prof.
Very good, very good. Appreciate. So this is the confirmation to me that you are hearing me and I am hearing you. Both are traveling the same boat to reach to the destination. See, I tried my level best to make the Petrona Chuma to open and unmute and say yes, but finally she succeeded at last. Otherwise, I spent at least 2 to 3 minutes in this regard. Of course, I did not record it. Otherwise, you'd have to know that how much efforts I have taken to request her to unmute and speak. But finally, she spoke. But let me come to the law and criminal law. So the criminal law, the economics, how it plays an important role. Let me presume it here. Criminal law is enforced by the state rather than by victim. And here the criminal law, and who is the party who will keep the motion, the criminal law? I ask the question, anyone can unmute and give me the answer. Who has keep the motion of the criminal law? If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, you say pass on. I will give the answer. Don't waste the time.
Pass on.
Criminal law motions could be done by the state. It is the state will run the criminal law. Move the criminal law. The criminal law is enforced by the state. See, here I have given. At least by looking at it, you can in a position to give the answer. Criminal law is enforced or it kept in the motion by the state. A state will file a case against the victim. Actually, rather than the victim, the case will be filed by the state. Victim give the complaint to the police station. Of course, FIR will be issued later on. The investigation charges are framed, but the criminal law will move with the state. State will move it, and state is one of the party that the PP or APP, where the party will run the criminal law. Is it clear? Say yes. Unmute and say yes.
Yes.
Very good, very good. Let's now mute it. This is because efficient enforcement requires that only a fraction of criminal law so caught in order to conserve and enforcement resources. Actually, what is that now? Efficient enforcement, who has to do? Here, state. Because state is moving the case or keep the case in the motion. Only fraction of criminal will be caught and only a fraction of criminal will be caught in order to conserve the enforcement sources, and the punishment for this fraction be multiplied in reflect to low probability of the detection and conviction. So here, what I want to say is, criminal law, many cases are filed over there, but only few cases, the criminal will be convicted. The reason is, it is beyond the reasonable doubt is there, and hence, most of the criminal will be acquitted. Because the evidence will not be shown as a beyond a reasonable doubt. That is the reason that the most cases, the accused will be acquitted here. And the punishment for this fraction be multiplied to reflect the low probability of destruction and convictions. But here, when you say that there are more accusations and the less convictions would be there in the criminal law. And whatever the convictions would be there, there is a strict punishment is there again. In case, if the state fails in the lower court, even state can appeal and the case will be appealed and the case will be dealt by the state itself. Of course, based upon the witnesses or any evidence would be there. If, for example, only 1 out of 4 criminals is caught and punished, then the punishment must be 4 times the cost of the crime in order to provide the adequate deterrence. For instance, they have given only 1 out of 4 criminals is caught. I repeat, only 1 out of 4 criminals is caught and punished, then the punishment must be 4 times the cost of the crime in order to provide a adequate deterrence. Especially in the criminal cases are concerned, either it will be the fine or the imprisonment or the both. But when the fine is concerned, it is roughly 3 to 4 times more than the actual damage, so that the wrongdoer preponder that the person perpetrator should not do such a thing again. So that was the idea behind this. That's why we can say it is a deterrence. Spelling? Read the spelling of deterrence. Read the spelling of deterrence. Anyone?
DETERRENCE.
Very good, I appreciate. So it gives a sense to me that you are with me and I am with you. So however, most criminals don't have the sufficient wealth to pay such a multiplied fines, and so incarceration or other form of non-pecuniary punishment must be used. Suppose if the criminal doesn't have the money to pay such a multiplied fines, the remedy for that one is incarceration. What is meant by incarceration? If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, you say pass on. Don't waste the time.
Pass on.
Incarceration means corporal punishment. Means keeping behind the bar for 3 months, 3 years, whatever it may be. Is it clear? Say yes. Is it clear? Say yes.
Yes, bro.
Very good. So keeping behind the bar is called incarceration, means punishment. Where? In the imprisonment, in prison. The other form of non-pecuniary punishment, it is a non-pecuniary punishment and which must be used over there when a person he is a poor man. What do you say poor man in Kiswahili? Don't say omba omba.
Maskini.
Maskini. The opposite is tajiri. Am I right?
Bomba.
Very good. So, and that's why where there is no money would be there, then he has to undergo the incarceration. So one implication of the law and economics is that a fine should be used as a punishment wherever the miscreant can pay. In all the, what I say, criminal wrongs, there would be a fine or incarceration, that is imprisonment, or both fine and imprisonment. So one implication of law and economics is that a fine should be used as a punishment whenever the miscreant can pay. So if a person will be capable of paying the fine, at that instance, the court will force him to pay the fine. Of course, that fine is at least 3 to 4 to 5 times multiplied with the actual loss, so that he will be deterred not to do such a crime again. So the reason is that fines are transfers and don't create a dead weight losses to some that are not gained to others. Imprisonment, on the other hand, transfers virtually no wealth from the criminal but causes 2 forms of the dead weight loss: the loss of the criminal's earning power in the legitimate job in the outside world, and the cost of taxpayers of providing a prisons and guards. See, here given in the economic analysis, the reason is that fines are transfers and don't create a dead weight losses. If the fines are there, it is a transfer of the money and there will not be any dead weight losses are there. like IE, id este, its equivalent Latin term, loses to some that are not gains to others. A person who pays the fine, he loses the money and other gains the money. So here in this case law, there is no dead weight losses because somebody gained the profit, money. In imprisonment, on the other hand, what will happen? It will only transfer the virtuality, and there is no wealth will be transferred from one person to another person. Only the perpetrator will be put behind the bar, and that is the punishment to him. Then what about the victim? Could the victim is going to get anything? Answer is no. Only the perpetrator will be put behind the bar. So earning power in the legitimate job in the outside world. But one thing is very much clear. The perpetrator, suppose if he is an employee, at that time he lose the earning. And of course, after sometimes he lose the job also, because a person who is an accused will not be continued in a job. I don't know whether after the conviction is over, whether again he will be given a job or not. Because when he is continuously absent on the criminal charges, naturally I don't think that again his job would be there. Earning power in a legitimate job in the outside world are the cost to taxpayers. And when he did not gain the money and he could not pay the tax, is it not loss of money to the state? Answer is yes. So he could not earn it. Simultaneously, he could not pay the taxes of providing a prison and guards, and the cost to pay taxpayers of providing a prison and guards. And the prison and the guards their salary will be paid by the taxes what we are paying. See, any minister, any development plans, they will run through our tax money only. If you don't pay the tax, they don't get the money. So it is the money they are spending it. And we are giving the state in the form of the tax. Are you hearing me? So yes.
Yes, Prof. I have a little concern here, Prof.
Yes, please.
According to what you have said, it is that the perpetrators of crime,
yes,
if they get jailed or imprisoned,
yes,
that means the state is about to get loss in terms of tax.
you're right.
Yes, but what I want to say is, I think there is a need of states to use prisoners to engage in several economic and sometimes social activities. For instance, here in Tanzania, we have a lot of uncultivated land. I think
Yes,
the government should use them
yes,
to engage in cultivation of maybe different crops, and
yes.
they should feed themselves by using the crops which they have cultivated, even in cultivating some production or commercial crops, so that they can be used
To sell in the market.
in other instances. And in case of those who they cannot afford to pay compensation to the victim or fines, that means if they get involved into those activities, such products which are gained from that production power will cover the losses, the fines which they have failed to pay. That's what I wanted to say, Prof.
You are right, because no person who is convicted for the several years will be fed on food, because the prisoners will cultivate the land. Suppose he could not know the Kulima Shamba, if he is having any other skill, he would ask to prepare the mat knitting, and if he does not know that one, then the Fundia Imbao, if he is good in the carpenter, he will be given the work for the carpentering and he will make it out. Suppose if a person doesn't know that thing, he knows only the cobbler job, so that is stitching the shoes, then will manufacture the shoes. Like Butima, here they will not keep it there, and they will produce a lot of material which is made by the jailers, and it will be sold in the market. and they will have their own shops also. Otherwise, they will be fed on only the tax of the state. No, they will generate their own income, and they will see that the jail will run. It is not only in one place, in anywhere in the world also, the same phenomena is there. Because once he is released from the jail, and he could have his own livelihood, what he did it in jail. Is it clear?
Clear, Prof. Clear.
Yes, Professor, but still I have some questions.
Yes, please proceed.
Yes, my question is it necessary for the state to jail a person? Then how someone in jail affect the economic stability of the state in terms of paying tax? How?
Suppose if he is an engineer and he draws
Yes.
a lot of money, that means there is a taxable income to him. The tax will be no more will be paid.
Then the point Mr. Kitange wants to say that in case someone is jailed, the government lost income, the government maybe lost some incomes, and also he suggested that some people from jails, they should be engaged in productive activities
Yes,
like cultivating some.
to keep the gap, to fill the gap, they have to do a particular thing. To fill
But
the
in
gap.
other jurisdictions, Professor, but in other jurisdictions, people in jail, they are engaged in economic activities specifically to generate income for the attainment of their families at home, not for saving the state. How is it
And
possible in Tanzania?
whatever the income they earn it, no, all the income will not be given to him. Some income will be given to him as a deposit. When he came out of the jail, that amount will be given to him.
But in our jurisdiction, for instance, in Tanzania,
No,
the system
generally,
is not the
suppose if he is earning his earning is very good, but they only deduct the whatever the amount they spent on it, the rest of the amount will be deposited in his bank account, because he does more work than what he eats. So at that instance, the money would be deposited, and that money would be given to him when he was released. So that phenomena also could do it, because jail activity is not for the commercial activity. Jail activity is such a way to compensate the loss, number one. If the loss is less and the income is more, then it will be distributed among the people, those who are working, and as a form of a bonus to them. And that would be deposited in the bank account. Once they release it, because generally it's the phenomena I'm speaking about. Once they release it, the income would be given to them, because they worked hard there, number one. They earned more, number two. Number three, their expenditure is less, and hence it is the state doesn't want to make the business with the that is the what do you say, criminals, and hence they will pay their amount, and that amount will be very good for their family also. But I doubt also whether every month it will be paid to their dependents, the income which he earn. I doubtful, unless I would have to verify from the jail. Suppose if they do work hard and they earn more money, but spending is very less, and who will eat the money? Whether the state will not take it, because state will only compensate whatever that the state is spending towards these imprisoned people. So it is my understanding, and that is the reason that they would pay it. And the other people, of course, many of the people, those who knows their own skill, they will be made. For instance, in the Moshi, there is also a big prison is there, but there is a shop is there where these prisoners will manufacture the different items, including the artistic work also, and they will sold in the market. For instance, you say Sabasaba, there is a shop especially built where the prisoners will manufacture the things that will be sold in the shop. Did you observe any time? Did you observe any time?
Come again.
Myself, no, Prof.
Yes, in Sabasaba, they have their own shop. Not only there, in India also we will find the shops, prison shops. now what that they are doing, in addition to that one, they are running the petrol bunks. The government is giving the license to the petrol bunks, and only the prisoners will work there. Of course, not that such prisoners will escape. Am I right? In the petrol bunks, it is run by the prisoners. Suppose the women prisoners are there and they could not do the work, at least they will deliver the petrol or a diesel or whatever it may be for the fuels to the consumers, and it is run by the government with the prisoners. Are you following me? I did not see here, but I saw in the India. Mheshimiwa, umekula zaidi. You are belching. Are you hearing me? Shall I proceed?
Yes, Prof.
So that is the way that we can say a prisoner will not be given the free food. No, he will not be given the free food, please. Note the point. So that was the thing. And the wealth to pay the multiplied fines and private enforcement would not be profitable for the private enforcers, and to the state provide the enforcement. In some circumstances, incarceration serve the additional function of the incapacitation of the potential wrongdoers. And here they want to make it very much clear that economic efficiency. Suppose if you go on feeding the person without extracting the work with the prisoners, that fellow becomes a parasite, and he'll become a white elephant, and he's a burden to the state. So what they do in a incarceration place, incarceration serves the additional function of a incapacitation of a potential wrongdoer. Suppose the potential wrongdoer is there, if you made him to sit idle without doing any work, that means you are making him a parasite. And hence, they will ask what type of the job that you conducted, or you are doing at the time when you have committed an offense. And they will take the background also of the person, whether this person is qualified in a particular field or not. And they will check it. If once they check it, for such a man, they will not keep it idle. No. He will be engaged in that activity where he is an expert in that field. Is it clear?
Yes, Prof.
Yes. See, this is the wording which I read. In some circumstances, see here I am reading. In some circumstances, the incarceration means keeping behind the bar, serves the additional function of incapacitation of a potential wrongdoer. Means you are voluntarily making incapacitation to a potential wrongdoer, but you have to take the work from him. So that is another point they want to make it out. So criminal law has been the subject of the most extensive empirical work in law and economics, and probably because of the availability of the data. Of course, the crime data is there, how the crimes will be committed, how many economic crimes are there, how many social crimes are there, how many political crimes are there. They will categorize it. Economic theory predicts that criminals, like others, respond to incentives, and there is the ambiguous evidence that increases in the probability and severity of the punishment in a jurisdiction lead to reduced level of the crime in that jurisdiction. So now what I want to say is economic theory, how it predicts. Economic theory predicts that criminals are human beings like others, responds to incentives. Suppose if you say to the criminal, if your good behavior would be there, naturally your sentence will be reduced. Is it not the incentive? Is it not the incentive?
Sorry, Prof. Can you repeat what you
Yeah, I will repeat it.
said earlier?
Say, suppose if a criminal is sentenced to imprisonment for 7 years or 10 years or life in imprisonment. Well, he was undergoing the sentence, but he did a lot of works and brings laurels to the state in earning the money, and good things are there. And suppose if you tell the criminal in the beginning, if you have the good behavior and a good source of income to the jail and a good character if you shown over there, then either on the Independence Day or any birthday of the nation, of the father of the nation, by your good behavior, you will be released. In other sense, your imprisonment for that period will be reduced and you will be released. Is it not the incentive to the criminal?
It is.
And hence, if any person does a good behavior and the jailer will certify it, sir, this man is hardcore criminal before he entered this prison, but he is a very dynamic person and he does many economic activities and he brings the name and a good record to the jail, and hence I recommend him for the incentive, his punishment will be reduced and he will be released. Based on the report, the criminal, hardcore criminal, when he entered and he became a normal, a civilized, very sensitive person and goes with the stream of life of a people. And once he comes out, and whatever the job he did it in the jail, and that job will be continued and he will need not to. Even the government or even the bank will give the loan to him to run his own small scale industry. Because of his good behavior, the government reduced his punishment and he released on auspicious day. Which are the two auspicious days in Tanzania where the criminals are released? As I said, please give me the answer. If you don't know, you say, yes, sir, pass on.
No, Professor. No, please. Can you resume the question, please?
The good behavior of the prisoners, the government will release them on auspicious day, either one day in the year or 2 days in a year, as an incentive for his good behavior and reduce the punishment. What are the 1 day or 2 days in a year in Tanzania?
Professor.
So I don't know the here Tanzania because I did not meet, but in India, if a criminal and whose sentence is reduced because of his good behavior and the jailer recommends to him to release it, the auspicious day is number 1, Mahatma Gandhi's birthday. Who is Mahatma Gandhi? Father of the nation, like Nelson Mandela. I'm sorry, like here Narere, Julius Kambarage Narere is the father of the nation in Tanzania. Father of the nation in India is
Mahatma Gandhi.
the birthday of the Mahatma Gandhi is 2nd October. On 2nd October, most the people will be released, those who are having the good behavior. Number 1. Number 2, the Independence Day. That is the 15th August. The 15th August also is the date where the people will be released. So these are the two auspicious occasions where the good behavior of the prisoners, those who imprison, they will be, their sentence will be reduced because they are turned into the very soft and smart, sane citizens and who could be fit enough for the social life. If the government will come forward, the bank, they will recommend the bank to give the loan to them, and because they are the skilled persons there in the jail also, of course they do have the certificate also, they can lead the life in comfortable way. So that is the reason the people are released on the day on the good behavior. So that is a good incentive to them, number 1. Number 2, how long do you keep your criminals in the jail? by making such a work, because they do also human beings, even they are also married and having the children, but because of several reasons or provocative reasons that he committed a murder, for that he has undergone the imprisonment. Because of the good behavior, and he will be released, then he will be continue his later life in with the society. Is it clear?
Yes.
So that is the reason we can say the criminals, like others, respond to incentives. Here, respond to incentives, and there is a unambiguous evidence that increase in the probability and severity of the punishment in a jurisdiction lead to reduce the level of the crime in that jurisdiction. Suppose if you do it in such a way, naturally, the crime rate will be reduced. The crime rate would be reduced. You may ask how a crime rate would be reduced. The crime rate would be reduced because hardcore criminal will not be released first. Because if he released, again he does the same thing which he did it earlier. So the best way to stop the crime is you detain him for some time, so that people get the fear that if you does a crime and you will be detained in the prison. Are you following me?
Yes, Prof.
When the criminals are detained in the prison, then don't you think that crime rate will be reduced? Answer is yes. Because in every society, there are some noted criminals are there. If these criminals will be scot-free, they do commit again the crime. So better that people would be in the prison so that the crime will not be repeated. So that is the reason they will make it out. Of course, that hardcore criminal, they try to reform them so that they could have a rest of the life after release. At least sometimes they will spend with their children. The issue of the deterrent effect of the capital punishment has been more controversial. So now I will ask the one question, because you studied it in your LLB also. What is the first case law where punishment hanged to death is given in Tanzania? There is a notable case law. Even myself also know, I will tell you. I also kumbuka. I repeat the question. Which is the first case law in Tanzania where the perpetrator is given hanged to death, capital punishment? Even myself also is out of mind. I did not prepare. There is a case law is there. Can the capital punishment will be implemented in Tanzania? Please, Siokimia. If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know, you say pass on.
Sorry, Prof. I didn't get well the question. Can you repeat it? Sorry.
Why? I am giving you whether the capital punishment is implemented in Tanzania or not.
Okay, Prof.
What okay, Prof?
First, and the one among of the capital count punishment, for instance, death sentence. For long, it has not been implemented for so long. But the law provides to that effect, but in case of implementation, not yet.
I ask a simple question. The answer should be yes or no. Whether the capital punishment is there in Tanzania or not. Answer is either you yes or you no.
It is there.
Answer is yes. Implementation is a different thing. But Capital punishment is not barbaric punishment. It should be there. And what is the mode of capital punishment? How it can be executed? Why you are keeping quiet? How the capital punishment could be implemented? Sir, by taking the AK-47 and shooting him. Sir, not like that. A big python. You know python?
Person.
Python. Anaconda. Would you lead the human beings, including the animals? It swallow it. Sema Kiingereza, sema Kiswahili. Did you understand my question first?
No, Prof.
But why you are keeping quiet? When you did not understand, why you are keeping quiet? You don't know Python. Even myself also, I know it, but I have forgotten it.
Check it from a class.
This is Python. Did you see Python? Pythons. Sema Kiingereza. This is Python in Kiingereza. What is in Kiswahili?
In Kiswahili we don't have specification, Prof. Tunajua ni nyoka.
Nyoka. No, nyoka is
Yes.
scorpion.
Scorpion, no. Snake, nyoka.
This is not a snake, this is. It will eat the human beings. It will eat the animals. No, it is not a nyoka, because I know, because I have forgotten. Python. I will give you the answer now.
Nyoka. It's nyoka, but
See,
python.
chatu.
Let's see what it is.
Chatu.
Chatu. Yes, then it's chat. You know, Prof.
Yeah.
Nyoka, it's a general name for all kind of snakes.
But chatu is makubwa.
Yes, chatu is mkubwa.
Yes, the chatu. I am speaking about the chatu. So, capital punishment will be given by the biting of the chatu. Answer is no. So, what is the mode of the capital punishment in Tanzania? Hang to death. Repeat.
Hang to death.
Yes, that is the capital punishment. How? He will be hanged. How he will be hanged? Gallows, we will say gallows. Gallows, a person, gallows images. You will say gallows, that a platform is called gallows. Gallows images, I will show you. Did you see the gallows images? Say yes or no.
Yes, Prof, I can see them.
See, this is the hook. It is a slippery hook. The hook will be around your neck. Then they will pull it down. Then the chini, there will be a kigoda. What they do, they remove the kigoda. Or the down, there will be something, they will make chini down. Here it could see it here. See, this is up. They will make it down. They will make it down, then you will be hanged. So you will be hanged till its death, his death. This is the mode of
Implementing
capital punishment.
Yes, Prof.
Okay, Pole, you will understand, no doubt, because I could not see you and you could not see me, because the reason is no, you can on your video, but the video take a lot of frequency, so we could not hear properly. So that's why I'd stop. Even I don't use my video also. Otherwise you could see my face if I on the video. Am I right?
Yes, Prof.
For instance, see, you can see me now. Could you see me now? Could you see me now?
Yet I think
Yes.
down. Not yet. I cannot see you. Myself, I cannot see you, Prof.
Why? See, somebody could see me, that you cannot see me. What is the reason? See, some corner you can
No,
see
I
me.
see you.
You see, you can see me not on the screen. You can see me at the corner somewhere. See, I can make you up, I can make you down, and I can make you here. I can make you on in front also. You can see me. Of course, in front you cannot see because it is already there. Yeah, now I stopped it. Huh? Oh no, control panel. It is came site. Okay, now I stopped my video. That's why you could not see me. Yes, what I am saying is a deterrent punishment, that is the capital punishment, has been more controversial. India and Tanzania, they said capital punishment is not a barbaric punishment. It should be there, it must be there. But several other countries, they abolished the capital punishment. They say it is a human right violation. But several recent papers using the advanced econometric techniques and comprehensive data have found significant deterrent effect, and each execution deterred between the 8 and 28 murderers, with 18 being the best single estimate. And here the statistics shows, by keeping the capital punishment, the crime rate will be reduced, especially imprisonment to life, such offenses. But some other countries, they say, what will happen if you kill a person? See, we don't want to kill a person, but we want to try to mold him. But he could not mold himself. He became a habitual criminal. And if you release him, thinking that at least now he may lead a good life, but again he committed several murders. So the best solution is kill him. Make the capital punishment and kill him. So, and this killing also sometimes, no, it is open, hang to death, but most of the places it will be hanged to death only in the premises of the court. I don't think that it will be made to the public, but earlier it will be the public, because public get the deterrence. If you commit such a mistake, if you commit such a offenses, and the same fate is going to happen to us. So teaching a good lesson to the society, reducing the crime, they used to hang to death in the open place so that everybody could see it. But I don't think that nowadays it is possible over there, because security problem, many other things are there. It's very difficult to do such a thing. Is my view. So, no refereed empirical criticism of this paper has been published. Research on the procedural rules have shown that increased rights of accused persons can lead to increased in crime. See this statement. Read, anyone can unmute and read. Research on procedural rules. Proceed.
Research on procedural rules has shown that increased rights for accused person can lead to increases in crime.
What it means? If you give a lot of rights to the accused, that can lead to
increased level of crimes.
That means you are nothing but encouraging the criminals to commit the crime. And hence, criminals were not given such a right. Am I right?
Yes, bro.
Can the criminals will be given the right to vote?
To watch.
right to vote, V-O-T-E, vote, in the presidential
No.
elections, in the parliamentary elections.
No, Prof.
First they say, if they are given the every right, then it's nothing but encouraging the criminals. And hence, rights are restricted to them. Because, number one, the fundamental rights of moving wherever they like, they cannot be made. Because he's a criminal. And he will be imprisoned in the four corners of the wall. So one controversial paper by John Dono and Stephen Levitt argues empirically that easing of abortion restriction lead to reduction in crime because unwanted children would have been more likely to become criminals. I don't know whether you got my point or not. These two people made an empirical study. Who? John Dono and Stephen Levitt. Empirically study, they did it. What they did it? What the slogan? The easing emotion, the easing of abortion, the easing of abortion restrictions. That means abortion will be free. Abortion will not be restricted. Abortion should be liberalized. So that is the actual meaning. The easing of abortion restrictions means abortion make it very free to available to every person for the reduction of a crime. It will reduction of the crime would be there. Because why? Because tell me, because
Prof.
if we aborted, a unwanted child will be aborted. Am I right?
To some extent, Prof, I have a concern there.
Yes, tell me.
According to their argument, they believe that easing of abortion, there will be no large number of unwanted children. That's according to them. But on other instances, basing on the positive sides, among those unwanted children, some of them they can become potential to the society. That means not all of
Only
them
on
are going to be bad.
fingers. Only on fingers. You can count them. 1, 2, 3 up to 10. But majority
And they
of the
can save
unwanted children, they become hardcore criminals because the father and mother affection would not be there to him. And he doesn't know what is pity, what is wrong. He knows only one thing, steal and eat. So their study says, better, okay, now abortion is free in Tanzania, abortion is restricted.
it is restricted, Prof.
It is restricted. Moreover, if anybody says you are having a boy or a girl in your womb, if he declares before the pregnancy, before the delivery of a boy, delivery of a baby, and that doctor will be put behind the bar. There is no ultrasonic test. I repeat, there is no ultrasonic test or the test which will determine the sex of an infant which is there in the mother's womb. They never declare it, whether it's a baby boy or a baby girl. Because I don't know whether in a clan, they want that a boy should be first and a girl should be next. Is it? Say yes or no, don't kill the time.
Yes, to some to some clans maybe, but here in Tanzania, I don't know if there is such kind of circumstance where the family or among the partners or the spouse they can decide to abort just because the baby is a baby girl. I don't know if it is happening here in Tanzania, maybe in other countries, but in
For
Tanzania we don't have
instance, you
such
take in
kind of
India,
arrangement.
as far the Hinduism is concerned, it is a girl is not the first, or preference is to the boy. Because whenever a father and mother died, it is the boy who will fire the pyre. Because there is a cremation is there, that not a burial, Hindus. But here in Tanzania, either you are a Christian or you are a Muslim, no cremation, only fill up the
I didn't
blanks.
understand. I didn't understand what have you said earlier.
When a person is died in Tanzania, do they cremate it, they bury it?
They bury it.
Do you know what is cremation?
Cremation, parcel.
Keep on the fire, burn the corpse.
Okay.
That is called cremation.
But I have heard some instances. I have heard some instances, Prof, where some of people from India they are cremated here in Tanzania.
The cremation is the primary thing. But the Christians and Islam, no cremation. It is only burial.
Sure.
So here the point they say, the unwanted child became a like that. That's why if you know the boy is there, they will make it. If the girl is there, they abort it. Because the second pregnancy, we cannot say whether the boy or a girl. So such a phenomena would be there. That's why government of India, not only government of India, even Tanzania also to my extent, they will not declare you whether you are having a girl or whether you are having a boy in mother's womb, fetus. They cannot determine the fetus with a girl or a boy. They don't do such a test. And if you know also that, but they don't reveal to you. Suppose if it is revealed in any form, it is a crime. So, shall I proceed?
Yes, I have something to add there, Prof. You know, here in Tanzania, in most cases, abortion it is taken under traditional ways because it is illegal. So what they do, even that opportunity for getting an opportunity for asking whether it is a baby girl or a baby boy, it's not there. Maybe I think in those developed countries or countries which have allowed or eased abortion, maybe they could have such an opportunity. But in most cases here in Tanzania, it is taken in a very local and traditional way in most cases. That's why there is not even such opportunity for asking whether it is a baby girl or a baby boy.
In India, they will allow you only on one ground. If it is dangerous to the mother as well as to the child who is going to born, because there is a deformity is more, it is more better to have such a child rather it could be aborted. That to be within a stipulated time before. Is it clear?
Yes, Prof. Clear.
So there are also major debate in the literature on the effect of a crime of loss, allowing the easier carrying of the concealed weapons. Some such as John Lott find significant decrease in the crime from these laws, while others find much smaller effects, although there is a little evidence of any increase in crime. Now let us keep one point here. Can we sell the firearms like rifles, guns, AK-47, revolvers, free in the market, given permission to marching or to sell? in Tanzania? Like a vegetables?
No, Prof.
Answer is Hapana, Hapana. Capital letters bold in Calcutta. The reason is, if you want to keep a firearm, either revolver, anything for your own protection, you have to take the license from the government. Then only you can keep the arm. But in certain circumstances, they will allow you to. They will allow all the arms should be surrendered. At the time, you have to surrender the respective police station your arms. But in America, any rifle, even a latest model, you could get it on footpath. There the marching gas will sell. Or it like an open market, you can buy Nyanya, Vyazi, Bamia. Are you following me?
Yes, Prof.
And hence the crime rate is heavy there. If a person
Sure.
goes out, yeah, you are welcome to my second session of the today's Wednesday class. We are continuing it, and what I posted on the screen is, anyone can unmute and read what I posted on the screen so that you could know that I am with you and you are with me, and both are traveling the same boat to reach to the destination. Yeah, here I write online class, not online class. Online class on 30th 11-2022 land criminal law, and it is hosted by me, Professor Dr. Mohammed Saheb Hussain, and Professor of Law. Yes, we are in this place here, yes, which I highlighted here. So let me make this study of this controversial paper by the John Dono versus Steve Levitt, and he say that easing of the abortion restriction led to the reduction in crime because unwanted children would have been more likely to become a criminals. So it is general saying would be there, but there are unwanted children also becoming very noble in their life, and they will become a good also to the society. But most of the places unwanted children, they lack the love and affection, and that's why they become a criminals. So there are also major debate in the literature on the effect of crime of laws allowing easier carrying of the concealed weapons. So the major debate in the literature on the effect of crime laws allowing the easier carrying of the concealed weapons. So it is very open to the market to buy the goods like vegetables, the rifles, revolvers, AK-47, and all the ammunitions would be sold without any license. If such a thing would be there, then the probability of the crime rate is more. For instance, you take the USA, the crime rate is more. I am not saying it is a fact. Some, such as John Lott, find significant decreases in crime from those laws, while others find much smaller effect, although there is a little evidence of any increase in a crime. So what I want to say is, if any concealed weapons were there, which is under the control of the government, if it is open market, then the crime rate would be increased definitely. Because easy availability of the weapons, so most people try to use it in a hobby way also, in one form, in another form. So that is my say, what I want to say to you. So if we go to the next item of the economics, law and economics, and you will find that different way approaches are there. Yes, welcome Petrolina. The different approaches are there for the second class of mine. Let us see also these approaches, how law and economics plays an important role in the society. So the law and economics movement applies economic theory, and that is called the analysis of the economic theory in the law and a method to the practice of law. So this theory will be developed over there to see how best the justice will be given in economic point of view. It asserts that the tools of the economic reasoning offer the best possibility of justified and consistent legal practice. And here, justice to be done, and it seems to be done. So that is the primary idea behind it. So what will happen if a person has filed a case now, and he is going to get the result only after 30 years, by the time whether the person who filed the case is alive or not, and the fruits will be enjoyed by the grandchildren. Am I right? Am I right? If the litigation
Yes.
takes 30 to 40 years and the justice is delivered, and such a justice seems to be justice, Petrol Nachuma, you opened your, unmuted your speaker, then you speak. I told you the Methali. In one Methali, and the proverb I used, justice hurried is justice buried. In another proverb, Petrolina Chuma, when you want to speak, you can unmute. When you don't want to speak, you mute it. Now you muted. Then another Methali, justice hurried is justice buried. So depending upon the context, we can use it. How one can use and when one can use. If the justice is given after 30 years, by the time the person who filed the court, for instance, at the time he is say about 60 years, can we expect that the person will live up to 30 years if the judgment is given after 30 years? Answer is, he may not prosperity live for the 90 years. At the most 70 or 75, but not more than that, because of the prevailing situations. Kitange, now here,
Yeah.
how the economic theory will be developed if the justice is given very late or after 30 years. What is the relation of the economics here for the delay in justice? If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, you say pass on.
Sorry, Prof. Repeat the question.
See, the economic value at that instance, before 30 years, what is the inflation rate? What is the inflation rate after 30 years? What is the bank value? What is the USD currency change rate? So it is having the very economic factor would be there if the justice is not given within a stipulated time. If the justice is given after 30 years, even the person who filed the case may not be alive. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, Prof.
And hence, in the economic point of view, it should be the less amount consumed and justice should be given in the shortest way. Then people also having faith, number one. Number two, people definitely will knock the door of a court because justice will be given within no time. So, if 30 years there, number one, you spend the money. Number two, you spend your energy. Number three, your life period will be reduced. Number four, tension would be there on your mind, whether we lose it or whether we win it. So it asserts that the tools of the economic reasoning offer the best possibility for justified and consistent legal practice. If the legal practice is in such a way, within a stipulated time, if the case is decided, then people feel very happy. They say, in any case, the case will be disposed within 3 months. That means within 3 months the case should be disposed. But here, either in Tanzania or in India, the cases are piled up in the courts. Am I right?
Yes.
And there are many cases are there. Even if you happen to see the court, sometimes see, half of the time goes on call work. If at all, if any party is ready for the defense or the arguments or written statement or be ready It might be only 2 or 3. And when you conducted the proceeding, then the lunch hour. When you again come to the court, again we'll continue it. Sometimes they are supposed to sit up to 6 o'clock. Because at least the cases are ready, should be disposed on the day. If only 2 or 3 cases will be conducted in a day, what will happen if there are 300 cases? Even the new cases are filed over there. And hence, they try to minimize the call work. Because now, everything on the online. You can see the date. Whether you are ready or not, on the spot you have to make it. Perhaps it will be the online also. And that cases will be conducted on the particular time, and the time could be saved. And when the time could be saved, economic value also there. And there, justice is to be done, but it seems to be done. That meaning will come out. See, when your parents are alive, you did not feed them, you did not give them the milk. You will give always to your parents chaya rangia. What is that? What is that?
Chai ya rangi.
Sema Kiingereza. Say black tea. Say black tea. It is a decoction.
Black tea.
It is a decoction. It is a decoction. But a new name is black tea. When your parents are alive, you will give the chai or rangia, that is a black tea or a decoction. After their death, you take the cow to the graveyard and you try to treat the teats of the cow so that the milk will be falls on the grave. Can you do so? Can you do so?
No proof.
See, when they are alive, you did not serve them either maziva or chaya maziva. But after death, you take the cow and it gives the very without mixing any water, directly the milk on the grave. Excuse me. Do you think that your parents will sip that milk? Answer is
no.
No. That means you have to do the justice at the time when they are alive. So the court also says, when the people are alive, please give the justice to them, but the justice will comes to their grandparents, it is useless. Am I right?
Yes.
The person who earned the money and got the property and he could not enjoy it, but his children will may enjoy it. But that person doesn't know what is the cost of what is the value of the property. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, Prof.
A person who earns, he knows the value of money. I repeat, a person who earns, he knows the value of money. A person who doesn't earn, he doesn't know the value of money. See, we enjoy sometimes at the cost of our father money. Is it or not?
Is it?
Sir, my father is not that much rich, sir. Equally, my father is also not rich. Suppose if I want to buy a notebook, I have to intimate him in advance at least 3 or 4 days before. Then he can arrange the cost of the notebook to me. But we cannot ask him, Dad, I need the notebook tomorrow. No. A 3 months notice should be served to him so that he could arrange the money. Are you following me?
Yes, Prof.
Notice should be given.
Yes, Prof.
You have to give the notice. If you want anything, you have to give the notice to your parent. Then he can search the money and he see that something should be done after 3 days. But not on the spot. or not on the same day or next day also. Because they are not the rich people. They cannot afford that much. Their income is very less. Family is very big. So they could not afford the economic value and the education also. Even sometimes we doubt, when our father, how could he give the education to all those their children? Of course, I am only the person who came out of as a doctorate, but others will just they did in the middle, they could not read well. So my point of giving is, when the children are more, your milk is dilute. When the children are less, your milk is pure. Are you following me?
Yes. Oh.
Suppose we are buying the, say, 1 liter or 2 liter of milk. What is the milk cost now? 1 liter without water, pure milk.
Half liter of milky without water, it's 1,000. Then I think the 1.5 liter, it could be 2,000. But I think what they do, they mix with water, then you cannot know. It's not a pure milk as it is.
Can you tell me, do the people, those who are serving 1 liter milk at the cost of the 2,000, do you think that is a free from water?
No, they mix with
Certain
water
area,
somehow.
you need not doubt, because he will take the bucket in front of you, showing the bucket also, whether it is having water or not. Then he will sit near the cow. Of course, those are hybrid cows. And he will fill the one bucket within 10 or 20 minutes, 10 minutes. And the hot milk will be served to you. And the milk is halving the even surf. You know surf? The above the milk will come when you teach, you will make it a pressure, the surf will come. That is air balloons will come there. Are you following me?
Yes, Prof.
And that milk will be served to them. And it is the pure, without water, directly from the cow. And of course, there are sheep buffaloes are more in India. Then we will get the sheep buffalo's milk, and which is having a more siagi. But cow milk is, it doesn't have that much siagi. You know siagi, cream. So I used to buy here 1 liter of milk every day at the cost of 2,000. But when you heat it, there will be a cream will be formed. But I saw there is less cream. But we found another way where we will get it from the other place. Then I tested both of them. But in another place where I purchased the same 2,000 rupees, the cream is more. So I compared it. I have shown to the lady who brought the first milk. See, your milk of 1 liter, this much is cream. And the same 1 liter, we boil it and the cream is this much. Now you tell me, a cream which is more, it is pure. A cream which is less means it is mixed with the water. So I denied, sorry, the 2,000 which I am supposed to give you, I can give you as a zawadi, you take it. But from tomorrow onwards, I am not going to buy the milk from you, because I gave the notice to her. First day I told them, see, try to be, but she's also not, she's the second agent she gets from the village and she sells from here. Kijiweni, I'm staying here, the plasma bar, Kijiweni. Now, why I am giving the example is economic theory. How? When the cream is more, that means milk is pure. But the cost is only 2,000. And when the cream is less, and the same cost 2,000, so economic theory says to a person that where I have to buy the milk, where the cream is more or where the cream is less. Answer is Answer is Siokimia. Don't be silent. Give the answer. Or say pass on. Participants, are you with me? Are you sleeping?
No problem.
Why? You are dozing? No, bro. Nini. Amna kula chakula. Chakula cha michana sio kula.
Njaa prof, hamna chakula njaa.
Sir, chakula amount I spent in the buying the data. Bundle. So it is arguably one of the dominant theory of jurisprudence is the cost is less and the time is less and justice time also less. Then economic theory will be developed there. The law and economics movement offers a general theory of law as well as a conceptual tools for the classification and improvement of its practices. The general theory is that law is best viewed as a social tool that promotes economic efficiency. What is law? It is a social tool. For what? For what? To mold the society. How? Keep the society in law-abiding citizens, following the rules and regulations. If any person violates the rules and regulations, he will be punished. Punished by whom? Earlier times it is the clan leader, or sometimes it is the father or parochia, and now it is the state. Either it is a democratic state, or parliamentary form of government, or the president form of government, whatever it may be there. Tanzania, who is more powerful, prime minister or president? Yes? Hamis Ahmed, Karibusana. I asked the question, in Tanzania, president is more powerful or a prime minister is more powerful? Sorry, we don't have prime minister, sir. President is, sir, because it's a presidential form of government.
Yes, prof.
But India is not. It's a parliamentary type of the government. And there, prime minister is more powerful than the president. But the first person of the citizen is president. The first lady is president, wife. So now, the general theory, they says, law is a social tool. For what? Control the society. How? By the rules and regulations. To attain what? To attain the peaceful society. And promotes economic efficiency also. It also promotes the economic efficiency. How? Let us see. That economic analysis and efficiency as an ideal can guide the legal practice. It also considers how legislation can be used to improve the market condition in return. So, any legislation which is having the lacunae, which is having the gaps, will be amended and see that that lacunae will be covered. That's why we can say amendments. Why you need the amendments? Because there is a gap between them, as the society will move with the great pace. When the society moves with the great pace, you know pace, P-A-C-E. What is meant by pace?
SPD.
P-A-C-E, pace.
Speedy, prof.
See, I wrote here, pace meaning is, read pace meaning.
Pace meaning, I cannot see it, prof. A single step taken when it... No, I can see it. No,
a single step taken when walking or running.
Yes, that is called pace. One step to another step. a single step taken when walking or running. But running, the pace length is more. But in walking, the pace length is less. Am I right?
Yes.
And suppose a short man, his pace is less. A long, a long man means long-legged man, and his pace is more. Am I right?
You are right, Prof.
Because long man having the long legs and he stretched the legs to a quite good length, and hence a long-legged person pace is high, where the short person his legs are short and his pace is less. What do you say short person in English?
Buff.
Sema Kiswahili? Imbilikimo.
Mbilikimo, yes.
Sio mifupi. Mifupi is different, imbilikimo is different. So now imbilikimo running is equivalent to a long-legged person walking. Am I right?
Yes.
A small-legged person running is equivalent to a long-legged person walking. Why? Why you are so kimia? Because long-legged person he walks, but a short-legged person he cannot walk with the pace of a long-legged. He has to run it. Am I right? To cover the pace. Why you are keeping quiet? Is it a tough question I asked? A imbilikimo running is equivalent to a long leg person walking. Did you get my point?
Yes.
But why you are keeping quiet? Your silence will kill me. You have to give the response immediately. It is not one way now. It's a two-way. Expressway it is. A love should be two ways, not one way. Only chunabuzi. Are you following me?
Yes.
Yes, Prof.
It's not a, it is your chunabuzi, mimi muhindia shaga. Sawa?
Chunabuzi.
Hapana chunabuzi muhindia chaga.
Okay.
So now we are at the pace here. The general theory is that law is best viewed as a social tool that promotes the economic efficiency, that economic analysis and efficiency as an ideal can guide the legal practice. So no man can do the business for the laws. Am I right?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
The reason is business essence is to get the profit. Of course, South is different. South is not doing the business. It's a charitable institution.
But in reality, is doing business.
See, you should not say reality. What is theory? What is practice? That is a different.
We are not here for granted. We pay them.
See, a Muslim can marry 4 wives at a time. It is a theoretical. Am I right?
Sure. According to
But what is practice? Can you show me now a person having the 4 wives in Monza or in Malimbe?
Yes, there is.
4 wives a man is having at present.
Yeah.
Say valid.
Somebody called
Muslim woman,
there's
Muslim man having the 4 wives in Malimbe. Can you show me?
No, we are not used to Malimbe because we are actually focused on our study, but there's famous guy.
We have only at the time where our grandfather used to have. Not even our father.
Even my grandfather, he has 4 wives.
What about your father?
No. Only my
Sir,
mother.
it is Siri. I don't want Siri. I want a transparent answer.
My father has
Sure,
only wife.
Machumba, I am not asking Machumba.
No. The legal wife, Professor.
Valid 4 wives your father is having.
No. You have only wife.
Now, the reason is 1 wife is equivalent to
100 wives.
4
100
wives.
wives.
So now, theory
Professor,
is.
no.
That's why I told you,
Professor,
theory is different and practice is different.
Okay.
That's why I want to impress on you.
Okay.
So now, it also considers how legislation should be used to improve the market condition in return. See, for instance, a person who is an unemployee and he got accident and where his leg was fractured and where he needs an artificial leg, and the compensation for the unemployee is less than the person who is a professionally a doctor or a scientist or a lawyer or a judge and his damages are more. Why? Why?
It's maybe the difference comes. The doctor is very important person in the community. He saves people. He saves lives.
And his income also more.
Yes. Its income is more.
So economic status of a person will be counted when damages are awarded.
Yeah, sure.
A boy of the 3 years age died, and a man who is a scientist is died in an accident. Who will get the more compensation?
Come again, Professor.
A 3 years boy died in an accident. A 30 years scientist died in an accident. And who will get the more compensation?
The doctor.
Scientist.
Economic theory will work. The boy is not earning member. Moreover, he is a consuming member. But a 30-year scientist is a earning member. And he is a servant to the society till his or her death. And economic status of a scientist is more. Hence, more compensation will be paid to the scientist and less compensation will be paid to the breastfeeding boy. Sema Kingreza.
The breastfeeding boy.
How do you say in an indirect way?
Mtoto wa mama.
There are 2 ways there. One is suckling baby, means nonya matiti, and sucks the milk through the breast. That is called suckling baby. In another way, we can say Sharabara style. Weaned baby. W-E-A-N-E-D. Weaned baby means the baby will not suckle now because he will eat now food. I'm not suckling because generally it's more than 3 years. It's more better to give the breastfeeding at least for 3 years. It's more good. Scientifically also good. And 3 years you have to give the suckling. For that one you can say unweaned baby. Unweaned. U-N-W-E-A-N-E-D. WEANED, unweaned baby, means still he is suckling. And weaned baby means more than 3 years. So what I am giving, a unweaned boy died of 3 years and the 30-year scientist died, then the amount of the compensation is more true. Fill up the blanks. Fill up the blanks.
The more compensation be given to the scientist.
Scientists, why are you taking so much time to fill up the blanks?
Oh, it's because of network, Professor. We are following.
I know it. A sound travels less speed than vision. The vision speed is more. The sound speed is less. Of course, you can get it, but I waited for the answer. So, unweaned baby will get the less compensation, and the 30-year scientist will get the more compensation because of economic theory. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Sir,
Yes, Prof.
even unweaned baby also a death, and a 30 years also death. In the both the case death only, no sir. Then why the compensation varies? Answer is, a unweaned baby, the capital is less. A 30-year scientist capital is more, either spent by the parents or spent by the loan board or government.
Professor,
Yes.
maybe for the sake of argument,
Yes.
yes, what if it might be calculated that the boy he shall have more years to live compared to the scientist? So in the point of economic view, it will be future for this
How do
boy
you
that
prove?
he will spend. No. It's that's why I say for the sake of argument.
Okay.
My view that
You finish it. I will give the answer for that one.
okay. Maybe we presume and we assume that this boy is going to live maybe more than 30 years of that scientist, more than 30 years, and will pursue different economic activities. He will get a lot of money. So because he lost their lives at the maybe 5 years or 7
Unweaned
years,
baby, I said 3 years below.
whatever. So in the sake of argument, so I was trying to think maybe I should have to listen to you.
Yes. Probability, how do you count it that he is going to have a bright future? Answer is, both parents are scientists. Both parents are doctors. Both parents are a well-known officers in the government. And both parents are Tajiri. Both parents are tycoon, business tycoon like Azam. And who are the business tycoon in Tanzania?
Yeah, more Deuch.
I want the name.
Mohammed Deuch.
Yes, and when next.
We have someone called Lostam Aziz.
Next.
We have someone called Gharib Muhammad, the founder of GSM, the founder of Yanga.
What about the Shukari factory? Bagheera.
Yeah, sure. We have them.
What about the
don't
founder
remember
of the
names.
Guardian? The newspaper Guardian.
The newspaper Guardian.
Of course, he's no more now.
Yeah, we have somebody called Eric Shigongo.
No, Gerald. Something is there, no?
Oh, okay.
So suppose if he's a business tycoon, father and mother, then the probability is there. They say probability. I did not say true, because a probability would be there that they have the good education and good future would be there, but he cannot get like the scientist compensation.
You know, Professor, my concern is
Yes.
that's why I asked for the point of argument.
Yes.
You know, the criteria of just determining this person is going to get more compensation compared to the other person
Yes.
is because that person is in form of government payroll. That's why
Yes.
you are, yes, in form of government payroll. So just to take an example, maybe is
Proceed. You're speaking, I could not hear. So the court will follow the economic theory and the probability, and they will come to the conclusion that this much compensation paid, but it nowhere more than the compensation of a scientist. That much I can agree. So there are the probabilities, chances, the way of life, the growth, and other things will be counted. Then compensation is assessed, not accessed, assessed, spelling ASSESSED. So that way the compensation would be paid. So that is it also considered how legislation could be used to improve the market condition in return. So what is the market value? What is going to get it? Law and economics offers a framework with which the model legal outcomes and common objectives, excuse me, with which to unify the disparate, I invited you, no matter, now you will be joined. So efficiency and economic analysis, it also considers how legislation should be used to improve the market condition in return. So legislation also make in such a way that a person would have to get the reasonable and appropriate and enough compensation depending upon the various factors. Law and economics offers a framework with which to model legal outcomes and common objectives with which to unify the disparate areas of the legal activity. So, law and economics will join on the different factors, like we discussed. An unweaned body will get the less compensation, where the scientist will get the more compensation. That was our argument was there. Yes. Do you want to share anything?
Yes, I was out for just for a while. My phone went off because of electricity, but I'm back.
Okay.
My concern was
yes,
the criteria of determining this person is going to get more compensation compared to other, according to the scenario sprayed. It's because of that person, the scientist one, is within the government payroll.
And he is paying the tax also.
And he was paying the tax also.
Yes.
So my concern is, what if the accident involved the layperson, the regular person with the same age compared to the scientist, but he's not scientist. Maybe doing the activities which is not trusted to the government. Maybe the businessman, but not that big one. And the boy or the other person compared to him, maybe another person in the 30 years, another person in the 30 years, but this person is just doing the regular business and this person is a farmer, for instance. The determining factor for just deciding this person have to get more compensated compared to other, for my view, I think it is just going to be the life expectancy of a said person. Maybe this person is just going to live for 10, 20 years to come. If it will be in the sense of the person must be within the government payroll, it's just, for my view, I think it is unfair for other people which are actually, they are not in the government system, for my view.
Prof.
Finish.
Yes, I rest my case, Professor. I just
it is always considered the market value. What is the market value of a scientist having the 30 years old? What is the market value of the person same having the 30 years but doing the business? And who is paying the more tax to the government? I know that before we are getting the salary, our income tax is deducted first, and later on the amount of deduction will go to the bank. That means a clear-cut idea is there that he is paying the taxpayer because he is a government servant. But when you compare with the businessman, a practice is that most of the people doesn't show their income, how much they are getting it, because they are showing something and billing something. Okay, let you presume it. Let you presume it again. The person who is doing the business also equally paying it. And who is paying more tax? Businessman is paying, and you said he is not a business tycoon. He is ordinary business. When ordinary business, to my knowledge, I don't think that he will pay the tax. In case if he pays the tax also, and his tax is based on the second book tax, means false tax returns. A false tax returns always is less, but a government servant, he is transparent. How much getting, it is the equivalent, 30% will be deducted. Even your house rents also be deducted. It is very false. Any allowances cannot be deducted. Allowances are given free of tax. But here, any income generated in a TRA, that the Tanzania Revenue Authority is said to be income. No, allowances are not income. For instance, in my house tax, 15%, that also be taxed. Suppose if I raise a voice in the Court of Appeal, I am sure that I am going to win it. But system, you cannot change it because it's the last to the government. Am I right?
Yes, Professor, you are
Yeah,
right.
you got the answer to your question?
Yes, I've got my answer, but my question was just for the sake of argument. Maybe you have
I
to think
gave you
outside
the
the box.
answer in my say only. I gave you the answer in my example only, in the description only. Who is paying the tax more to the government? Is it the businessman, ordinary businessman, or a government person? Samuel, give me the answer.
Oh, Prof.
I asked the question. Give me the answer first.
The businessman is paying more taxi.
Businessman never show the real. And the probability is there. His business may go and run losses also. But there is no probability for the government servant. Am I right?
Yes.
Again, now you say that probability is more to get the compensation to whom? Give the answer. Give the answer, I said. Sir, matando matatizo. So, a court will not see, it will calculate all the measures. Court will also ask what is the probability that he is going to be a big businessman, because the history shows the great businessman, children are the loafers, are useless fellows. But most of the cases it will not happen, because the reason is it is in their DNA. Najwa DNA in the blood.
Professor,
Yes, now you ask me. Don't for the sake of debate,
I
don't say.
yes?
Don't say for the sake of debate now.
Ah,
Asante sana, sikiliza darasa. Mungu akubariki na kukulinda.